signing a contract. Should you sign contracts or have contracts in your pooper scooper business? Hi, my name is Erica Crouppen, and I'm the owner of Crouppen's Poopin' Scoopin', and I create content for the Poop Scoop Millionaire community over on School, and I'm also a personality over here on the Scoop Start channel. Now, I've been in business for 6 years, and this is a question I hear all the time. Contracts, should we have contracts? Are contracts a good idea? Yes, no, maybe so. I want to give you my thought on the pros and cons of contracts and what I have done over the past 6 years in my pooper scooper business. This is the mindset I have seen from the customer side and from the scooper side, where it's like, if you sign a contract, that means you, like from the scooper side, you have guaranteed work. Like they're locked into this contract for a year, 6 months, whatever it is. And then on the homeowner side, it's now I'm guaranteed to have service for 6 months to a year or whatever the contract term is. So a contractor just can't abruptly up and quit middle of the season, because I'm sure that has happened to people before, where they think that they're getting a reliable service and then their service provider just like ghosts them. So I can see both sides of why people would want to sign contracts. Let's go through the pros of signing a contract. So with having the contract, a lot of times you have your terms of service written in there, you have your stipulations, like you're gonna have maybe service days written in there, you're going to have frequency of service, your pricing. So all of this is going to be written out. So you have your guidelines, you know exactly what the expectations are as a service provider, and then the homeowner knows what the expectations are. So it makes it very like black and white. Here are the terms, we are to follow those until the contract is over. And what I liked about having the contract, because I have a contract with an HOA community, which is nice because that's like a high dollar ticket price. I was able to lock in that they wouldn't just abruptly cut me out middle of the season and be like, we found somebody else that's going to be cheaper. And I was able to be like, okay, we're going to have this contract until the end of this year. This is what the price is going to be. Now, I negotiated my price because they wanted to do a 3-year contract, and there was no way that I was going to lock into a 3-year contract without something written in there that says that every single year there needs to be a price adjustment that goes up, because I'm not going to be just charging the same price for 3 years, because inflation, prices go up. That's crazy. So I'm personally only willing to sign a 1-year contract term and then renew as the years come up. Another pro is that reliability and consistency on both ends. As the consumer, they know that your service provider is going to prioritize them. They are going to show up for service. There's no abruptly quitting. As the service provider, we know our customer isn't going to see some ad online that was like a service for 12 weeks that's $6.99 and then be like, oh, I'm going to cancel you and go with another company. They're locked into the contract. So at least you know you have that guaranteed income for the next year, 6 months, whatever your terms are. We're gonna have those clear expectations. It's very black and white. What we're doing, how it's going to happen, and what to expect. So we say that we're going to service your property 1 time a week. You can even write in there on said day. If it rains, what's going to happen? So you know, if it rains, are you skipping that service? Are you pushing it back a day? Are you pushing it back 2 days? You have all this stuff figured out. We don't cancel service if it rains a little bit. I mean, if it's like a torrential downpour, we do cancel service. But this is a good way to have all of that stuff written out, so there's no guessing. We know exactly what we're going to do. If there's a holiday and this person's scoop falls on a holiday, is it being skipped? Is it not being skipped? Is it being pushed up? Is it being pushed back? You have all that stuff written out, black and white. And the customer's like, hey, you didn't come to my house on Monday. Well, in your contract, it says that Labor Day falls on a Monday. You know, every year, we don't scoop on these holidays, so your service is pushed back a day. Or we skip service, we'll be doing double duty the following week. That's all written out in your contract. And also, if you don't have all of your customers under contract, and maybe some people don't want to, you could even have it to be where, like, if you lock in for a year, then you are priority. Even though like all of my customers are priority, like I've heard this before, like people that are under contract are priority. So if the schedule gets super duper full and some cuts need to be made, because sometimes cuts do need to be made. Like, I've had to cut out a service area before because I didn't have enough manpower to be able to service all of the houses. I wouldn't be able to cut out the people under contract because I'm under contract with them. So at least you know that, like, these people are priority. They're not gonna be getting cut if something happens. So that kind of gives the customer a peace of mind. And I just think all around, having a contract does give both of you guys a peace of mind at the end of the day, because it's that security blanket. And which we both know in business, you never know what's gonna happen. It's just like everything changes all the time. And I really do feel like you have to be like risk adverse to even be a business owner, because it's wild. Now let's talk about the cons of contracts. Now here's why I don't like contracts because I have commitment issues. I don't want to be locked into a contract with a customer that's a nightmare. You know how you get those nightmare customers that are just like, ugh. You cannot wait to get rid of them. They complain about everything. They're not going to unlock their gate. You're having to wait around. I mean, you could have all this stuff written in your contract, but there's just some customers that are just, I can't wait to fire them. And if they're under contract, you can't fire them. And so I find that to be a con. And if a customer is unhappy with our service for whatever reason, the service date, we're not communicating right, they don't like the scooper, maybe the scooper that they have is not doing a good job, and so there's some internal issues, I want them to be able to cancel service and go with somebody else that's a better fit for them. I don't personally want them to feel like they're stuck, they're tied to us, because then they're just gonna be a nightmare. And I don't want nightmare customers. I want customers that are happy with our service and they're happy that they're using us. And so that's the reason why I personally don't like contracts for residential services. Another con with contracts is, even when people have acknowledged and agreed to my terms of service and they've signed, like, I agree to your terms of service, when I've had to miss a scoop because of weather or whatever the issue is, whatever is going on in my terms of service with like billing or payment or what have you, customers will be like, I wasn't aware of that. So you're always having to go back to, will you agree to my terms of service? So you'd have to keep resorting back to, will you agree to this contract? I really do feel like it does create tension between you as a service provider and the customer. Because people, I don't know, I feel like people just sign stuff and they don't actually pay attention to what they're reading, because I don't know why. The majority of my customers are on the residential side. I don't have a massive commercial side. And so we get a lot of one-time cleans, which means that the customers just want to use us for one larger clean, and then they call us like as needed. I would love it if every customer converted over to reoccurring service, but that's just not the case. And I don't find why do I need to have a contract for somebody that's just going to use us one time? So I think if you were to do contracts, there has to be some like gray area where like one-time people don't have to sign contracts, because I just feel like I just personally feel like that's unnecessary work. It's not needed. Now, my con list is not nearly as long as the pro list. My main thing is I don't want to be tied to somebody for a long period of time, unless it's a commercial one. Commercial's a lot different because you're not dealing with the person one-on-one. You're dealing with management companies. You're dealing with people that you don't really talk to them. They necessarily don't care about you. They just want you to come and service the property. They want to make sure you're doing a good job. They want to make sure that their residents are happy. And so you're dealing with like a bigger company. You're dealing with a lot more people. So that's where I think that contracts really will come into play. So if you don't really understand contracts, you're a little nervous, you're not really too sure, I want you to go ahead and I want you to check out the Poop Scoop Millionaire community over on School. Within the community, they have everything you need to build, grow, and manage your pooper scooper business. They have Pooper Scooper 101. They have hiring. They have higher level information. They have how to do marketing, how to do SEO, set up your Facebook. You think you want to know about business, they're teaching it over there in the Poop Scoop Millionaire community over on School. So go ahead and click my link down below to check it out. I'm serious. It's such an excellent resource. And I actually need to take some time and dive back into it because I'm in the process of scaling my business. And even though I've been doing this for 6 years, there's still so much to learn, especially because William and Levi, their company does millions of dollars. Millions, right? And so learning from people that have done it and are doing it and willing to share the information, like it's a freaking no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Like, and you can, what's really cool is you can go in anytime. Like if you have some spare time on a Sunday, or if you're chilling at night and you're like, you know what, instead of watching TV, instead of scrolling on Facebook or TikTok, let me pour into myself and into my business and learn some new stuff today. So go ahead and click that link down below, okay? And guess what? Not only is the school community super awesome, but we're hosting a ScoopCon 2025. It's in May. It's May 23rd and 24th. If you haven't purchased your ScoopCon tickets yet, what are you waiting for? If you didn't know about it, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I haven't created more awareness about this. So if you want to join us for a live event, you get to be around many of your pooper scooper community peers, people that are newer in business. A lot of the OGs are gonna be there. I'm super excited to meet people that I've been communicating with online for years, and I'm excited to meet the new scoopers that are coming in because I know I'm gonna be able to learn so much from you guys, and I just wanna connect. So go ahead, click the link down below and join us. Time's running out. So what's the final verdict with contracts? Me personally, I don't want to be tied down into a contract for residential. I don't want it. I'm not interested. If they're unhappy, I want them to be able to leave. And if I'm unhappy, I want to be able to leave. I want to be able to fire them. You're fired. Get out of here. For commercial, I am very much so open to signing contracts. I think it is actually a pretty good idea. I personally only like to do 1 year at a time, or make sure that we have something written in there to where we can revisit certain terms, especially the pricing, because I'm always going to do a price increase every single year. I don't want to be locked into the same price for 3 years unless it's a high price, right? Unless it's a good high price. And if you want to know more about commercial, go ahead and click the video somewhere over here that's about like pricing and closing commercial contracts. William does an excellent job in that video.